Welcome back to another Halloween tutorial. We are cutting it really close to Halloween now. I'm starting off by using a barrier to protect my skin. You can use a moisturizer or a primer, and then we're going to take an Elmer's washable non-toxic glue stick to glue down our eyebrows, though I don't know if this is really necessary because we're going to be covering it later with cotton balls and latex, but I did not know that. But I guess this is good as an extra protector from the liquid latex. Now with my NYX white jumbo pencil, I'm just mapping out where I want my mouth to be, and I'm going to take 2 cotton balls, my Ben Nye liquid latex, and I'm going to try to form a large butt chin right now. So I'm breaking some of them in half and kind of rolling the bottom, but then spreading and thinning out the top of it and placing the thinner end upwards towards my ear so that the chin thins out into my actual jawline. Then I just continue to add layers and then thin it out and add layers and thin it out until I am satisfied. And I am actually using the back flat end of my tweezer because I actually didn't have a spatula yet. I have one now that I ordered on Amazon from Mayron, but I didn't have one while I was doing this. So using the back end of a tweezer, if it's flat, works just as well. Now I'm taking a small piece of cotton and I am rolling it up and putting a little bit of liquid latex on the tip of my nose and placing that on top of it, and then adding some more liquid latex on top and then thinning out the edges again. And then I brought the end pieces down along the sides of my nose into like my cheek area so that it actually looks like it's the front of my nose, like Ryuk's nose. It kind of looks like a mess right now, but just ignore that. When the paint is on, it will look more cohesive. Then I'm just adding some more pieces of the nostril to bring down, basically giving myself a nose job, but like a reverse nose job because this looks bad. I just put even more cotton on the tip of my nose because I felt like it should be even thicker. Wow, I'm adding even more. I guess I really wanted that big nose. I needed to balance out the big butt chin. I'm taking some Aquaphor and placing that on my eyebrows. It's basically like Vaseline petroleum jelly. And I'm doing this as an extra precaution for the liquid latex because liquid latex does bond to hair and then you will not be able to get it out. That will not be fun. You may also use oil instead. And you don't need to put the liquid latex directly on your eyebrows. There's no need for that. Just place the rolled up pieces of cotton directly on the hairs, and actually the Vaseline will help make that stick. And then you could just put the latex around it on the skin area, but don't actually put it on your hairs and you'll be fine. I was able to remove this very easily. And then just take a moment to look at how sexy you look right now. That old man vibes. I'm also taking some cotton along the outside of the temple area because I'm trying to follow the reference photo, and it looks like Ryuk has these eyebrows that kind of go into his forehead. And then dance break while the liquid latex is drying. In the meantime, I'm taking my Wolf Essentials water activated paint palette and I mixed together the blue and the black to make like a darker blue, and I'm just painting along where I mapped out the mouth earlier. And don't forget that Cupid's bow, he does have pretty large ones, especially on the bottom. It's got like a wide curve to it, and his lips are pretty thick. Oh, and don't forget along the tops of it, it gets kind of like swervy, so definitely don't make it like a straight line. And the edges of the mouth go up to like almost his eyebrows, so don't forget that. I also took some black face paint and I'm painting along the inside of the lips just to give it that shadow, and I will be blending that. Now I'm going to take some Ben Nye Clown White face paint and I'm just applying this all over and really getting in the crevices of that liquid latex. It helps to mix this with either an oil or a moisturizer because it is quite thick and it's hard to apply. Chocolate break. Now I'm just taking a smaller brush to apply the white closer to the edges. I couldn't really do it with the sponge because it would have messed it up. And I'm applying this all over my neck as well. I probably should have switched back to either the sponge or a larger brush, but I think I was just lazy. Okay, so what I'm doing here is applying blobs of white where the teeth are gonna go, and this is a trick that I like to do when something is like very detailed. Instead of drawing the teeth with the white, I'm actually drawing them with the red. I'm going over each white blob with the red and creating those little shark teeth, and then filling in all that negative space with the red. And this is the red from my Wolf Essentials water activated paint palette, and I believe I mixed it with some brown so that it was a little bit darker and less bright. Yeah, I find this to be easier than to draw the white teeth on top of the red. One, because the color wouldn't come out the same, and two, because I think it's easier to get a cleaner look when you are painting around it. Now I'm just taking black water activated paint and I'm painting the black like eyeliner around his eyes and create like that long wing that goes around the liquid latex and wiggle it up into the wing like the same way we did with the mouth. Get that wiggle in and then fill it in. And then he has these little like wrinkle things coming out, so I just kind of copy the reference photo. And then you want to test it by putting in your eyeballs and seeing if you missed any spots. Now I am taking the black paint and I'm drawing these long nostrils that are quite sharp at the top and filling in some more wrinkle details. And now I'm also taking a gray paint and I'm doing that very animated 2D shadowing that you see in the photo. This won't look as realistic when you're moving, but I think when you're looking at it straight on, it gives it that real like anime look. Now I'm going to take my black water activated paint again, and then I'm just bringing it along the hairline. I also created that widow's peak. I think my camera died when I actually painted that, but basically just copy what I did. You just make a widow's peak and then draw some hairs coming out of it. Now take your gray and paint along the side of your neck and chest where you painted that gray shadow, and then the other side we're gonna do white. You don't have to do this shadowing if you want. You could just paint your whole neck white or one color. I just kind of wanted to copy the photo. And I'm also highlighting the collarbones with the white and trying to create a shadow with the black again and carve out those, what are they called? I just said it. Collarbones. Yeah. I'm taking some black on a thin brush and going into those little details. I've cut out pieces of tape for the tape pieces around his chest area. I actually would have liked to do a silver because that's kind of what he has, so you could use some like gaff tape. But all I had was this zebra duct tape, so I tried to cut off the pieces that were like white and shadowed where they like entered the skin. I don't really know what those things are supposed to be, but anyway. I got this styrofoam crown and these gray feathers at a craft store, and we're going to make our own kind of like wig crown thing. Yeah, it's not gonna look good when you turn your head, but I didn't have a wig, so if you do, then cool, just skip this step. And we're taking some black hairspray paint and I'm going over mostly along the hairline, but also kind of randomly spraying up because his hair is kind of like not all black, it's like kind of grayish black. And bring the feathers lower where the sideburns and the widow's peak are. Now I'm taking some scissors and I'm just trimming into the top of the hair so that it doesn't look so feathery. And that's your wig. And then I got really excited when I put it on because the look was coming together. Now for these feathery shoulder pad thingies, I made 2 arm rings out of gold wire, and make sure you're measuring them around your arms when you make them. And I got these plastic leaf thingies at a craft store, and I'm just cutting them and placing them onto the gold rings with little rubber bands, and those are your shoulder pad thingies. So put those on. I realized I forgot to shade the nose area, so I'm going back in with that gray and just creating the shadow right under the ball tip of the nose, and also elongated those nostrils. Now for the earrings. So I took a nickel and some tinfoil and I kind of just wrapped it around that and molded it into a heart. Don't worry, you could take the money back out when you're done. Now I'm tracing another piece of tinfoil over the heart because I wanted another layer since the nickel was kind of showing through. And then I took the back end of my brush and kind of like scratched on that outer layer just so that it erased that nickel stamping, and took some spirit gum and pasted that back onto our heart. Now I'm taking some wire and I'm attaching it to this chain that I attached to an earring piece. I used to make jewelry, so I have this stuff, but you might have to go to a craft store to get it. And there you have your Ryuk earring. It's not perfect from the anime, but oh well, it's as close as we're gonna get. Now for the eyes. This is the fun part. Looks like an actual ball sack of lemons. Anyway, this is decorative lemons. They're not real, and I'm cutting them in half. The inside is made of like a styrofoam, so I'm gonna cut all of that styrofoam out. It kind of smelled a little funky, but oops. Anyway, I took out the little stem that they had in there, and that actually worked out well because it created a little eye hole for me to see out of. I'm using this Wet n Wild paint palette to cover up any blemishes on the yellow, and I'm using a cream paint because water activated paint probably wouldn't sit well on this. And now I'm taking some red and making those little pupils, and some Ben Nye neutral set powder so that it doesn't get everywhere because cream paint is kind of messy. And there you got your little booby eyes. So stick that in your eye socket area, and if you're lucky they will hold up by itself, but if you want to put some spirit gum you can. I put on these long witchy nails, and I took some black water activated paint. This is Mayron Paradise, and I'm just painting over my whole hand to create that creepy claw hand that Ryuk has. And then I'm setting it with that same setting powder so it doesn't get everywhere again. And my cat was loving these little shoulder pad things. She kept trying to get them and eat them. It was really cute. Grab your red apple, pop those eyeballs back in, and that is your Ryuk. Thank you so much for watching.